You're welcome back to Prime Money, and thank you very much, Vincent Chu, for the sports. Now I'm sure now you already know who I have as my guest for the big interview. He's already in the studio and he's seated with me. Miracles, Dennis Aboagye. Good morning to you. And you're welcome to Prime Morning. Okay, so he's calling me senior because we're in the same school, or we have attend the same, I'll say secondary school, and you say senior high school.
Yes, or I would say, Ukapman is a school. It's not.
Okay, yes. So it's Ukapman school.
Yes.
So we both went to Ukapman school, even though I finished many years ago before he came in. But yes, Ukapman is a good school.
Yeah, one of the best schools in Ghana.
Yeah,
one of the best schools.
It's
one of the best schools in Ghana. I mean, the location, the environment, the ambience. Fantastic school.
And there are two of you actually who you have been going at each other on social media.
Me.
Yourself and Kali J.
Oh, like many months ago.
Yes,
but he's also
he also went to Ukapman school.
Yes.
Were you in the school at the same time?
No, he's behind me. Me too. I was there many years. Many years before he was. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So
yes, Kali J is also an Ukapman guy.
Ukapman school. Yes. At some point, I saw that you guys were going at each other, and I was like,
yes, I think during the election period, 2024.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it,
Anyway, does it mean that you're cool?
Oh yes, I mean, it's just contest of ideas. Eventually his party won.
Yeah.
Eventually his party won. So I'm waiting to see how his party will deliver. If his party doesn't deliver, then I also put the fire on him. I mean, it's just what it is.
All right. Yes. It's all good. So yes, you have Dennis Miracles Aboagye, who is the communications director of the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, but he's also contesting as national communications director of the party. How's that going? I heard your guys picked up your team picked up your forms for you.
Yes, I mean yesterday was Monday was the day nominations opened. Nomination is between today and Friday. We've picked out the forms, we're completing it. But we've started a campaign.
All right.
We've started engaging the constituencies. Basically, we are giving them the command and narrative message, giving them very good reasons why Dennis Miracles Aboagye is the right person for the NPP communication.
All right.
At this very moment.
So apparently we're having some issues with your microphone, so we're going to they're coming to resolve that right away so we can hear him, because we couldn't hear as he was speaking. But yes, he's talking about the fact that they have picked up the nomination forms, they're working on them, they're completing them, and yes, the campaign has already started. And it looks as though for now we don't have any other contender, so it looks like it's going to be a free run for him. Even if a contender pops up, it looks as though, well, that contender can be that strong because he's become very visible with all the issues that have been happening, with all the speaking he's been doing for the flag bearer before the 2024 elections and all of that. He stands in pretty good stead. So then if you feel that you're in pole position,
no, I mean,
you don't have any.
I have competitors.
Who are these? But nobody.
There are others, and of course, we are still in the nomination week, so you may never know. But I mean, that's why we don't take anything for chance. We are focused. The team and I are focused on executing a very rigorous campaign and giving the NPP as a party very good reasons why they should vote for us.
Yeah. Why do you want to be the National Communications Director?
I believe that together with the team that I have, we have been built by the party, and our capacities have been developed by the party to the extent that if the NPP has barely 24 months to go into such a major elections in 2028, then the best resource for that is myself and my team. For me, that's the biggest motivation. As you know, I'm already the Director of Communication for the flag bearer. I could have decided to just stay there. But the bigger picture is the party that is going to drive the flag bearer's presidential ambition. And I believe that with the experience I've gained, with the exposure I've gained, I have the responsibility to bring it to bear to enable the party win the 2028 elections.
What experience are you referring to
I
here?
Have basically
just being spokesperson for the flag bearer?
What a lot of people don't know is that even with my very young age, I have done this NPP thing for 23 years. And probably one of the few people that has gone through the mill from the bottom. I have been polling station youth organizer, and that's the basic unit in our party structure. I have been polling station chairman. I have been constituency deputy youth organizer. I have been constituency youth organizer. In 2008, I was the campaign manager in my constituency. 2012, I was campaign manager. 2016, I was campaign manager. I have been municipal chief executive in Ekapem North. I have been a presidential staffer. In 2020, in the 2020 elections, I was the one coordinating the party's situation room at the national level for the elections. In 2024, I had the privilege of being the communications director for the party's national campaign. These are not things that just happened overnight. I've given you things that I have been involved in for the last 23 years for the party. I've seen our party lose elections before. I've seen our party win elections before. I know where the pitfalls are. By virtue of my role in the 2024 elections, I have the privilege of seeing the gaps as we have it in our party's communications architecture. And I believe that these things put me in a very poor position to understand what is required at this very material moment for the party to build the kind of comm system that we need to prosecute election 2028. And that's why I keep saying that I will be building one of the most sophisticated communications architecture that this country has seen ever. I, together with my team and the communications officers across the country, we're going to build an unbreakable system that would send the message to the last Ghanaian voter you can find. You know, right now we have polling station communications officers, and there are about 40,000 polling stations in Ghana. So that gives us an army of about 40,000 polling station comms officers that are available at our disposal to deploy to get this NDC government out. That is not, that is even beside the electoral area coordinators.
All right.
The electoral areas also have communications officers, about 8,000 of them. If you add it to the 40,000, it makes it 48,000. You know, so all this resource at your disposal is not enough. You must have a communications director that understands how to deploy this resource and get the best out of them. And that's where I come in. That's where I come in. I also believe that we are contending against a political party, an opponent, the NDC, a party that is ruthless when it comes to propaganda, a party that has mastered the art of building facades to cover up their inefficiencies and incompetence. And so if you're going to go against such a party, then you need a leader, a communications director that is able to look at the strategy that would break through this facade and expose the realities to the Ghanaian voter. And that is why our pillar, you know, for the party going forward is grounded on 3: facts, fire, strategy. What we are saying is that the Ghanaian voter today is very well coordinated, pays attention to the issues. The teacher would not just get up and go and queue and vote for somebody. The teacher is going to vote looking at the issues that affect him. The nurse, the taxi driver, the trotro driver, the market woman, the student. People now actually pick their voter ID card to go to the polling station to vote for issues
that
concern them.
Yeah, and for them, increasingly.
Exactly, and that's where we are now. If you compare the last election we had to 1992, you see the difference. I remember even in 2000 elections where I could say my eyes were opened. Election day, people come to the house with kerosene and matches and tell you to go and vote for the nice guy, the wise guy. You know, that was the kind of, you know, political environment we've come out of. People will be distributing brooms and bulbs and what have you. But check out 2020, check out 2024, check out 2016. It's changing. People are now beginning to ask the questions and they demand answers. And when they get the answers, they run the comparatives to check between the NPP and NDC, which one was best served their interest. That is why you need to ground your communication in facts. So that when the person is listening, the person is just not listening to the noise, but is able to pay attention to the facts that you're espousing, and that will inform his decision.
Right.
That fact is not enough if it's not driven by passion. Okay. And that is why fire is extremely important. You need a comms director that is able to build the passion or get the passion out of the communicators. Then strategy. Like I said, propaganda-driven government, propaganda-driven NDC. We need to be able to get the right strategies to break through this propaganda and get the voter to listen to us.
Okay. You talked about the fact that you were communications director for the campaign, the 2024 campaign. But I also heard you say that you saw the gaps. What are these gaps?
So, you know, I get that question a lot, but the fact of the matter is that the opponents are watching. You understand? The NDC is watching. These gaps are gaps for our strategy room. It's gaps for our leadership. Clearly identified, clearly isolated, with recommendations to deal with them. But it's not in my place to put them out on TV.
There are obviously some that it's obvious to everybody else.
Which are those ones?
Well, I wouldn't know, but clearly...
It may not be obvious to my opponent, and I don't want to remind or draw my opponent's attention to it.
I don't believe...
so if you can give me an example.
I don't believe you're going to think that they are that naive about it.
Well, I don't know. I can't preempt it. I can't assume for them. They may be probably looking at other things that is not what we are thinking. You understand? I mean, if I'm competing with you, you may assume what my weaknesses would be. But for all you know, those are not the weaknesses. Those are probably things that I intentionally decided to let you identify them as such.
But then,
so I would not be able to publicly put
but then, as communications director for the campaign, if you saw the gaps and you let the gaps impact you, why are you now coming to say, you want to deal with the gaps?
So you see,
why didn't you deploy that same strategy back then?
So you see, when an organization or even multimedia, every year I'm sure you go for your retreat, management meetings to review the previous year. When you do your review in 2027, surely you are going to identify gaps in 2026. Gaps that as you are in 2026, you may be identifying some and correcting as you move on. But when you do your appraisal in 2027, you still identify certain stuff. Like we said, with the benefit of hindsight, everybody is wiser. So post the elections, we did our own introspections. You've done your own analysis. You've done your own review. This thing that we did, we're expecting to get A, B, C results. But we got A, B. We didn't get a C. What it means is that when I'm going into the 2028 elections, I know what we did. That gave us the A, B results, but not the C. So I know what to repeat because it worked, and what didn't work, for which reason I don't have to repeat. Those are very important things. So what I know from the previous experience are things that worked, and things that did not work. Now, my strength against my competitors is that I know what we did to get the things that worked. And I also know what we did wrong, for which reason some of the things didn't turn out the way they did. So I am not going to repeat the wrongs. I now have the opportunity to simply go straight away to the ones that I didn't do to be able to get a different result. That experience is extremely important.
Now, I've heard you also say repeatedly, refer to the NDC propaganda, they enjoy doing propaganda, but then in another breath you also concede or say that Ghanaians have become sophisticated and they see through the propaganda. So it's not so much, it's not about how much propaganda one does, it's about what the people believe and what the people have seen and experienced for
themselves. That's not entirely correct. You know, I'm a marketing guy. I'm a marketing professional, and you are aware that when we wake up in the morning, we all need milk, sugar to eat, you know, mix up. We know the things we need to be able to eat, but why do we advertise? There's something about marketing. They will tell you that there are certain products that you have to use children. There are products for adults that you have to use children to run your adverts. Why? So you need to trigger in your consumer the mindset that I need this. Even though actually he needs it, you must trigger it. It's like marketing 101. It's communications 101. We all need water, but why do you need Verna and not Belacqua and not Vortic? Those are a very important thing. So the propaganda, the facade that the government of the day, the NDC, will build, even though you expect that the consumer, which is the voter, should be able to break through and understand, your responsibility as an opposition party is to draw his or her attention. I'll give you a quick example. From January 2025 to December 2025, do you know what was going on in this country? This government actually covered the entire media public space with a certain veil. Oh, Abba and Papa, oh, dollar abafem, oh, inflation abafem, and it was as if wherever you pass, everybody is talking about it. Until December, when we went to Koforidua, I went to sit with the market and said, can we have a conversation? Yes, it's true, dollar abafem, dollar has moved from 14 cedis to about, at that time, I think about 10 or 9 cedis. They say, yes, it's true, we're happy.
So that was in propaganda?
No. So now explain where the propaganda is.
Okay.
So they're happy. Then I said, but have you asked yourself why dollar has come down and yet you used to pay electricity of 1,000 cedis in a month, but you're paying 1,240 Ghana cedis in a month? When the PULC tells us that the critical ingredient that goes into determining our electricity bills include exchange rates, include fuel prices. Fuel prices had gone down, dollar has gone down, and yet you were paying more electricity. Your son, who is in Ivandi Hall, used to pay 6,200 Ghana cedis when inflation was 23%. And dollar was 14 cedis. Think about it. And fuel was 14.9. How is it that today your son is still in school, Ivandi Hostel, dollar has come to 12 or 9 or 10, whatever, and fuel has come to 10 at that time. Inflation has come to 5. And yet, you are paying 7,800 Ghana cedis for your son's fees.
Can I give you an answer?
No. Then you know what the woman said? They said, it's true. These people, they are lying to us. I am paying more, spending more, expending more, even though these macroeconomic indicators have come down. Now, the conversation turned. And people began to now look at the impact of the macroeconomic indicators and not just the raw macroeconomic indicators. So
what you've done, or what you essentially did with that market woman, is that you drew her attention to something that she probably wasn't paying attention to. But the same way,
that's the point.
Somebody needed to also draw her attention to something else. If you talk about the hostel fees and all of that, it could well be greed on the part of the hostel owners who are seeking to simply exploit people. And we get that a lot in this country. Traders are bringing foodstuff from parts of the country, and they decide that even though it costs them so much, they want to, profiteer, unduly from it. So there's that.
Then if that is the case, then there was no need for change of government. Because then that excuse, okay, because when the government was coming to office, do you know what he told the market woman? The economy is hard. The cost of living is high. Vote for me. When I come, I'll reduce everything. Those excuses were still existent. Those excuses could still have been made by the NPP. The fact of the matter is that the government has failed. And when they realized that they had failed, they decided to create that propaganda to take the market woman's mind off the reality. And I explain to you. Macroeconomic indicators itself is not an outcome. It's only a means. Macroeconomic indicator is just a means. In every economy, in every country, it is a microeconomy that the citizens use to measure their standard of living. The macroeconomy must have a direct impact on the micro, because the micro is your pocket. There's the school fees you are paying, it's the water bill you are paying, it's the electricity you are paying, it's the transport cost, it's the cost of food. So immediately, you have a government that artificially manipulates the macroeconomic indicators and takes his mind completely off the micro. He will be called out. And I'll tell you, between January 7th to June, we kept making the point that there's something wrong with the economic management of this government, that they have deliberately targeted inflation. And you see, when you target inflation, microeconomy suffers. I explained to you. The real sectors of the economy, when they drive inflation down, jobs will be created. Productivity or production will go up. But when you say that I am sweeping money from the economy, I won't let people get money so that inflation will come down. You can also achieve that. But the effect is that there will be job losses. Production will go down. Agriculture will suffer. And all other things will suffer. Then you have a very beautiful inflation of 3%, 5%. But that inflation of 3%, 5% is not as a result of your countrymen doing well. It's simply because you are not paying the contractors. So they don't have money. And when the contractors don't have money, they will lay off workers. And when the workers are laid off, they won't have money to go and buy. And when they are not buying, inflation will go down. So that is what the government did the whole of 2025. Now, it took the opposition to trigger, I'm bringing us back to the conversation, to trigger in the minds of the Ghanaian that, it's true. You came to tell us that fuel price, exchange rate, inflation are the main drivers of utility cost. Now, you came to office, fuel price has gone down, inflation has gone down, exchange rate has gone down, and yet within a 12-month period, you have increased electricity by 24%, water by 15%. I am paying more for hostel, I'm paying more for school fees, even government-owned services. That one, I'm not sure there will be private sector cheating. Government-owned services have increased. School fees, as we speak, have gone up by 30%. Then the market woman now realized that, these people are just trying to play games with our minds. That is the job of the opposition party. That is what you mean by triggering in the minds of the people what the realities are. All right.
So you've beautifully articulated it. But what I see from all you're telling me is you're seeking, you accuse the NDC of doing propaganda. But the kind of propaganda you're talking about, essentially drawing people, getting people to see a certain picture.
Yeah, but that's what propaganda is.
What you're also doing is to draw the attention, say, hey, stop looking at it this way, come and look at it this way.
No, that's not what
Isn't that also propaganda?
No, that's what I do.
Because you are telling the market woman, no, see this, see that, see that,
see that. The difference between mine and theirs is that they are trying to draw your minds off the outcome, the reality. That's what they were voted into office for. Nobody votes a government into office to come and show them macroeconomic indicators on paper.
But it's not just macroeconomic figures that they have to show.
What do they have to show? Tell me.
You go to the market and you talk about how much cooking oil cost some time back. In the fact
I have the list here. We can go through it if you want us to.
It come down significantly.
No, I have the list here. I have the list of all the basic goods that we consume. And this cannot hold. Go and check the price of milk. Go and check the price of sugar. It cannot hold. That is the reality. And you know why? It is so because...
There's also cement.
But cement is higher now. It's not cheaper than it was in the past. The cost of cement today is higher. Go and check how much 42.5 hour cement costs today.
At the end of the day... At the end of the day...
So the truth of the matter is that the government is voted into office. And it's not just we saying. They said that we are coming to make the cost of living on you cheaper. That is the outcome that we expect. So when you come and you shift the conversation now from the cost of living and you want to put it on the high-end things that have no direct bearing on me, you are doing propaganda because you are trying to cover the minds of the consumer or the voter or the citizen from the reality. And the job of the opposition is to expose that. Once we expose that, it affords the voter an opportunity to make informed decision as to whether they want to stick to a government that comes to tell them that they will let them work 24 hours. A government that comes to tell them that we'll give you, for each job, we'll employ 3 people. And as we speak, unemployment has increased by 5 percentage points. In Accra alone, 17%. It's our job to expose these things for the voter to make the informed decision.
At the end of the day, we get the feeling that the 2 leading political parties are just doing propaganda with us. So this one wants you to see things in one way, the other wants you to see things in the other way.
That's false.
At the end of the day,
we are different from the
both of
it's not
you.
True.
Both of you leaders shouted.
It's not true. It is the NDC that has failed, not NPP. We are not in government. They made specific promises.
Well, it's the NPP's failure that got them to lose the election.
Perfect. So NPP is not in power now. Our job now, hold on.
That's the point I'm making. That before 2024, we identified the NPP as a failure. That's why they lost the election. And now we have a government that's in power. You're trying to get us to see that, okay, they're also failing. At the end of the day, then it looks as though.
Then it brings you back to my point I made earlier. The voter now makes a very informed comparative analysis. And I explain to you. The NPP government that you claim was a failure, so you were voting out, put over 3 million poor Ghanaian children through free education. These children, without the NPP, maybe about 40 to 50% of them may not be able to access education, senior high school education. Then when you realized that these were a resource for the NPP, in spite of what you call as a failure, they have gone through education for free. You came to promise them that, oh, you know, I don't see why you are poor and you go through secondary education. And then when you get to university, the same poor person, you have to go and look for money, go through a lot of stress before you pay for your first year admission fees. For which reason, most of you, after secondary education, you drop out. Because of that, go and vote for me. Vote against the one that gave you free education, free. You paid nothing. Vote against him. Vote for me, so that when I come, I will pay your fees to your university as grants. The video is there. Your production team can play it. He said it at UPSA. And that you don't have to pay anything. We call it no stress fee for level 100 students. All you have to do is get your admission, pick your bag, and go to school. I will pay the fees to your universities as grants. These 3 million students, these poor children, even though had benefited from the NPP that you call the failure, thought that, oh, well, no,
I didn't call
I'm just making a point. When I say you, I'm not talking about you.
A failure.
Don't worry.
When I say, the electorate went to
when I say you, I'm not picking. I'm just saying. Then they went to vote for the NDC, hoping that, I'm sorry, NPP, you know, you gave us free education. We are happy, but we have to continue. And when I look at the two of you, the one that is giving me free for the next level is this guy. So I'm sorry. They voted against the NPP. Then, after you come to office, you've left them at home. You don't fulfill that promise. Then when we are talking about that failure to fulfill that promise to them, you say that NPP was also a failure. We were not a failure. We gave them free education. We gave them quality free health care. We were not a failure. We gave over 120,000 young Ghanaians jobs through the one district, one factory. We were not a failure.
Despite all that, people decided that, no, we have...
Perfect. That is why we don't discuss us. We are out of government. The microscope is on you in office. And that is why I disagree with you, that when the NDC fails and we are calling them out, anybody at all will come and say, both NPP and NDC, NPP is not in power. It is not both of us. They are a failure. We are not. We can count, even in our first 12 months, clear-cut legacy interventions that we brought to this country. This government is in their 20th month, thereabout. Can you tell me one monumental thing this government has brought to change the lives of every Ghanaian everywhere in this country? None, zilch. Other than showing us macroeconomic indicators that have zero bearing on the microeconomy. The people suffer. We see sexy figures on paper, and everybody is struggling. Today, this morning, some of your employees in this office had to wake up at 2 a.m. before they could travel from Media to get to the office at very high cost. Transport cost from Circle to Kumasi, which was 90 Ghana cedis under the failure or failed NPP. Today is 120 Ghana cedis under this government. So the NPP and NDC are not the same. NDC is a failure. NPP isn't.
One of the things that the NDC can point at right now as we speak is on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Okay. The fact that they paid 10.8 billion to the bond DDP.
You are bringing me to the same thing. Let me tell you something. One.
But the people will get paid.
Wait. Let me tell you something. One. DDP is not only an NPP cost, NPP burden. DDP is accumulation of all debts, whatever it is that the state was, holding, which was not just an
but
NPP.
It was under the NPP government.
Any government that was in office in 2026 will pay DDP this year because that is the agreement, a contract that the NPP government signed with them. It is that DDP that gave this government the room to be able to call out all these macroeconomic indicators that they are calling out. So if I'm living at Latte, I haven't eaten, I'm paying high electricity bill, I don't have a job, I can't pay school fees, you have increased school fees by 30%, and you tell me that this morning what you have done for me, that I don't hold any bond with you, is that you have paid DDP.
By miracles, it's not as simple as that.
No, it is.
The DDP,
it's as simple as that.
When it's paid or when it's not paid, or when people have monies with government and they can't get their government, there are people who depend on them. And the money trickles down.
To where?
It trickles down to even the cocoa seller.
To where?
Because there's somebody who was expecting that this person who holds a bond would be paid. Once the person is paid, that money, that person also pays me, the cocoa seller. But if the person doesn't get their money, then me, the cocoa seller.
These are the big English that we use to confuse the.
No, it's not big. I'm relating it straight to the cocoa seller.
Pause it there. Today, as we speak, people are buying government bonds, treasury bills, even with DDP still there. People are buying government bonds. DDP, government bonds, these are money market business that is recurrent. Every year we are doing it. Even with DDP in 2024, we're still doing treasury bills and people are still buying it. I am telling you that millions of Ghanaians that you were voted into office for to come and introduce life-changing policies, and you are telling me that for 20 months, what you can show me for is DDP bonds that you pay.
I'm just saying it's just one of them.
Mention, but that's the main one you could mention.
No, this morning, and I'm talking about this morning.
That you've paid bonds. That you've paid bonds. Which government doesn't pay bonds? Which government? Even the NPP started paying DDP before we left office.
No, but the DP. So you talk about which government doesn't pay bonds.
NPP started paying bonds before we left office.
The bonds that couldn't be paid at the time, for which reason we had to.
I am telling you that NPP started paying bonds when it was restructured. We started paying these things. You see, the DDP has been structured every period, and when
at the time it was structured, there were people who were expecting to be paid.
Investments are always structured. If I go and
buy... At the time, they were expecting to be paid. They couldn't get their money. So you are saying that
today, if I go and buy a fixed deposit with SGSSB for 90 days, and then SGSSB or myself, we are partners. So maybe I decide to roll over. Or SGSSB decides that, it's 90 days, but we cannot pay you.
This is not a rollover.
No. That is what DDP was.
This was DDP. People were expecting to be paid. People were expecting to be paid.
DDP was.
Government comes back and says, okay.
And I'll pay you later.
I can't pay you now. I'll pay you later. Because the economy is in shambles. And so
I'll pay you later.
Yes.
And now you are paying him. You are saying that is the policy?
At the time, they needed the money.
Yeah, but we are paying him now. No, I agree. Yes. But you are saying that because you are paying him now, that is your achievement. No. For me, that lives in Latte.
No.
And that's a job.
I'm saying right now, this morning, that's something they can point at.
What are you talking about? But the NPP 8 years in office was paying government bonds. DDP is just government bonds. That is what it is. DDP is government bonds. And the NPP, NDC, CPP, whoever from Rollins to President Kufuor, to John Mahama #1, to Akufo-Addo, everybody paid government bonds.
You see,
why would any serious government that had a manifesto, in their manifesto or in their promises, do you know what was in when it comes to the financial sector? We'll restore the licenses of the banks that lost their banks. They said that they will even revert. The communications officer of the NDC said on TV that they will pay the #1 guys. What is it? #1 guys. What is it?
Men's Gold.
They will pay them their money. Those are the promises you should go and fulfill. DDP is not for you. DDP is a government mandate. It's a statutory requirement. It has been structured.
But can you imagine if they couldn't pay? Can
you imagine the Men's Gold people you promise you pay and you haven't paid as you speak? Can you imagine that?
We're talking about DDP.
No, but
right
can
now.
you imagine that? I'm telling you that it is unheard of. I am shocked
that
for a government, your achievement is that you've paid government bonds, which you will pay anyway. Every government pays government bonds. Every government. It could be 90 days, it could be 365 days, it could be 182 days, it could be 5-year bonds.
But you appreciate that it's also a failure if you don't pay.
But you see, again, it is mediocre. If the government's achievement is paying the statutory bills that they are supposed to pay, because every government
pay, it has impact.
Every government pays bonds. So if that is what you are calling as your achievement, that you failed us, every government pays. Even the NPP that did the DDP started paying these bonds. They started. Israel, the point is this. There is no way out that this government can point to any significant performance. In fact, every aspect of the economy is getting worse. Education is worse. The fees the parents cannot afford. The cost has gone up. Both the residential fees and the academic fees, they've all gone up. Health, listen, as we speak, 111 hospitals are left in the bush. There are over 88 districts in Ghana that, as we speak, do not have hospitals. They've been left in the bush.
How's that worse?
You don't think that a country that identified in 2020, in a COVID era, in a pandemic,
we have hospitals.
No, hold on.
The NPP sought to build more hospitals. For some reason, you couldn't finish the hospitals. Many of them couldn't be completed. So when you say they've been abandoned in the bush, it doesn't make the situation worse.
It does.
It would have helped if we had them.
No, it wouldn't have helped. You see,
it would have helped if the hospitals were built.
No, any serious government that is serious about health would have realized that after the pandemic, I was an MC. I saw with my eyes. I saw how people were laid on the floors of dormitory. Okwabman School, Ekufu House, was converted into a holding center. You know why? Because from Ayawaso West, Lankwantanang, Adenta, all the way to Ekiapem North, there was only one district hospital, Tetekwashi Memorial Hospital. One. From all these places I've mentioned, only one. So post-pandemic, as a country, the health infrastructural gap was clear. So it was commenced. It was started.
And it's a great thing.
No, hold on.
But why then didn't you finish?
See, again, that is the problem. If you start constructing a hospital in 2020 and you don't finish in 2024, and the government comes into office and say, I am working, and we ask you, what have you done in the health sector? And it doesn't include you providing Adaklu people with their district hospital, which is at the roofing level. You have failed. Not the one who built it to the roof level. He started the process.
Not the one who said I was going to finish so many within this period.
Not him at all.
You didn't get to finish.
Not him at all.
That's not a failure.
Not him at all.
You set out to say I'm going to achieve 50% in the exam, and you get 30% in the exam.
Yeah. So again, the comparative. In 4 years, I brought the building to roof level. In 2 years,
how many did you bring to roof level?
Wait. The data is here. I can share with you. But you look at that clue. Look at the ones. Hold on. Before you go there, let's finish the health. In 4 years, I brought the building to the roof level. In 2 years, you haven't even gone to even put one pickaxe there. 2 years. 2 years out of 4. In 4 years at roof level. In 2 years, you haven't even gone there. What you have done rather is to go and put up kiosk and buy Aboagye as your intervention in health.
We have to. We have to. We
the
don't
only
have
thing, zip line that is providing critical emergency intervention for Ghanaian people with evidence of its output. You've shut it down. The health management system that is managing the health of this country, you've shut it down. So look at health, look at education. You said you give these people 24-hour economy, even 12, you haven't been able to do. Unemployment has gone up. Utility cost has gone up. You have teachers you have employed for 14 months, you haven't been able to pay, you owe them.